to establish it. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
about trust.
It's trust. They've already got their trust. If that champion shows faith and trust in our organisation, well then the other members will show allegiance, trust and faith in that champion, and so the change should hopefully work.
Do you see with these plans as well that because you guys is a strange one because it's an isolation case rather than an inundation case, but
We're looking at approximately 12 properties which tends to get above floor inundation.
plus vulnerable people who probably need assistance and warnings. The fact that the community comes on board in the first instance and is aware that the community themselves are aware of this and are supporting it, how do you see what do you see the likelihood of a more positive response to the warnings of the SES because they've already taken it on board?
Well, I think it's got to be an improvement because you've already got their buy-in. One, it takes away the anxiety when they receive it because they should know. We've educated them in looking at rainfall gauges, looking at river gauges, reading the BOM, and they'll be like, oh, well, based on what we've been told and what we've been, talking about, we'll probably get a warning soon. Bang, they get a warning. They're on board and it's got their buy-in as well. So with their buy-in and their participation, I think their involvement would be 100% compared to just receiving blunt warnings.
And what do you reckon their demeanour will be to receiving these warnings to now compared to what it was before the groups? By the demeanour, I mean their emotional response.
Well, Carla was quite upset because she had this situation where her daughter had asthma, but the town was isolated, and she was worried, that it could escalate, and how could we get her out? So whenever she, knew that there was weather coming or whatever, it was quite, anxious or an anxious time for her. So now that these situations in place and there's standard operating procedures and she knows what's going on, she's much more comfortable nowadays about when an event's about to happen. She knows what to do and who to call, etc.
It's probably showing a bit of faith in the service as well because our organisations put emphasis and focus on their village and they've said, hey, we've identified with the local people that you're at risk and there is a threat. We understand that these can be the consequences. Together, let's put some systems in place so you help us help you, make it more effective, more efficient.
I based all my my projects on what's called community-led planning, and really, in your instance here, you've got a lot of SES planning involved with it as well. What's your take on community-led planning now that you can see that actually you see the buy-in, you see that it's a local thing for a local problem? Do you reckon community-led planning is probably a very valid tool for the SES, or?
I think we need to face it that it happens. What happens is communities do rally together. They'll get out and help each other, particularly more or less post operational event. But what this is doing is probably integrating more of the planning and the preparation side. We need to understand, hey, it does happen, so let's harness it. Let's try and educate them a bit further and enhance their ability and capacity to fulfil the job which they're probably going to do anyway.
I also find though that in those first few meetings we were just wallowing around until I gave the example of what we'd done in Timbolgum and how SES can help you. So you still need that SES influence in there and providing examples and ideas and putting out on the table how we can help, and then it's up to them to say, yeah, we want this, that's a good idea, but we need to change it to suit our community.
Yeah. And it's a balance. We've got a legislated responsibility and obligation to the people and to the communities of New South Wales across. But what we're doing in the instance like Timbolgum and Yukai is empowering them to take more control of the situation. I think when they're prepared, they won't be as scared when it comes. They'll look at it as a job. They'll be more responsive rather than reactive. And I suppose when you're responsive, things are thought through and methodical. You want to hope less mistakes get made. and better decisions get made as well. And I suppose that's the whole genesis and idea of establishing these groups.
Community-led planning is vital because a lot of these towns, they don't want, you know, government coming in or outside people coming in telling them what to do. So it's so important that they decide what they want to do and they choose their strategies. So
yeah, with guidance, you know, with guidance of best practice from an organisation.
From experience, years of experience.
Yeah, exactly right. We can guide them through to make the right decisions. And like I said, yeah, it's all about empowering them, isn't it?
Mm.
I should have been a CEC.
You should have.
A CAC.
I tell you what, and that is a cut, because unless you've got anything else to add,